The poppy field snowfall looks magical. Every particle drifting onto Judy Garland is industrial asbestos. This production burned actress Margaret Hamilton, poisoned its Tin Man, and nearly cut its greatest song. These are 20 hidden details you completely missed in The Wizard of Oz. Number 20. A dark silhouette moves among the trees as the trio skips down the yellow brick road after the Tin Man joins. On grainy VHS, it looks human. It is a large bird from the Los Angeles Zoo, placed on the soundstage for atmosphere. Historian John Freaka confirmed this on the 2005 DVD commentary. Rolling Stone revisited the debunking in 2024. The forest scenes were shot before any Munchkin performers arrived at MGM, making the myth structurally impossible. On Blu-ray or 4K, pause and observe the wingspan movement. No human figure has that shape. A deliberate 2011 YouTube hoax digitized fake footage onto VHS to relaunch the story. The real dangers of this production were far stranger. Dorothy's costume hides something no viewer has ever seen on screen. Number 19. Every Halloween costume, every replica, every cultural image of Dorothy uses blue and white gingham. The actual dress is blue and pink. Costume designer Gilbert Adrian substituted pale pink for white because true white fabric created glare under the 3-strip Technicolor process. The 150 arc lamps raised stage temperatures past 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and the pink photographed as white under that light. Every surviving original dress has been confirmed pink by Smithsonian conservators, Bonham's Auction House, and a peer-reviewed study published in Nature's NPJ Heritage Science in 2018. The garment that defined visual culture for 85 years uses a color no audience has ever seen on screen. The ruby slippers carry a similar secret and a far stranger story. Number 18. The ruby slippers are not the bright scarlet they appear on screen. Surviving pairs examined by Smithsonian conservators are deep, uneven burgundy. The intense arc lighting creates the vivid red. Screenwriter Noel Langley changed them from silver, as in L. Frank Baum's novel, to ruby in a May 1938 draft to exploit Technicolor. Each slipper carries 2,300 hand-sewn sequins. Soles were lined with orange felt to muffle Garland's footsteps. In August 2005, Terry John Martin smashed into the Judy Garland Museum with a hammer after a mob associate claimed the shoes contained real gemstones. A fence corrected him. The FBI recovered the pair in a 2018 sting. On any close-up, the burgundy depth is distinct from modern replicas. The Kansas surrounding Dorothy is equally deceptive. Number 17. Nothing in the farmhouse door transition is black and white. The entire interior was filmed on 3-strip Technicolor stock, every wall and door frame painted sepia brown. Body double Bobby Cachet wore a sepia duplicate of the gingham dress with sepia makeup, filmed exclusively from behind. She opens the door revealing Munchkin, then steps out of frame. Garland walks in from the left and crosses the threshold. The original plan of hand-tinting individual Technicolor frames was abandoned as too expensive. Cinematographer Harold Rawson devised this stagecraft solution during May 1939 reshoots, documented in Algene Harmetz's 1977 production history. Pause the interior and notice the warm brownish cast differing from true grayscale. The door opener's face is never shown. It is not Garland. Number 16. Special Effects Head A. Arnold Gillespie first built a 35-foot rubber cone for the tornado. It was too rigid. Remembering airport windsocks, he built a 35-foot tapered muslin stocking reinforced with piano wire, suspended from a custom steel gantry built by Bethlehem Steel at $12,000, traveling the ceiling of 200-foot stage 14. Two stage hands moved top and bottom in opposing directions. Fuller's earth dust was fed through the top, sifting through the porous muslin to blur the edges. Cotton balls on glass panels before the camera simulated storm clouds. According to Penn State meteorologist John Nize, this was likely cinema's first tornado depiction. Look at the funnel's outer edges during the storm. That texture is Fuller's earth seeping through woven cloth. Number 15. The floating pink bubble that carries Glinda into Munchkinland was a stationary silver ornament approximately 8 inches across. It never moved. The camera moved on a planned track to make the ball appear to approach. The ornament and set were photographed on separate film passes, combined as a double exposure without protection mats. That deliberate omission gives the bubble its translucency. You can faintly see the set through it. Actress Billy Burke as Glinda is revealed through a lab dissolve. No animation, no optical printing, as confirmed in George Turner's 1998 American cinematographer investigation. Watch the bubble's edges and notice there is no shadow anywhere on the ground beneath it. It is a Christmas ornament on a double exposed frame. Number 14. The Emerald City visible across the poppy field was created by Matte Department Head Warren Newcomb using a technique classified as top secret at MGM crayon pastels on 4-foot sheets of black cardboard, not glass painting. Tiny holes were pinpricked through the tower spires. Flickering lights shone through those holes to simulate sunlight glinting off the spires. Live actors shot from behind were composited into the black space at the base. In L. Frank Baum's original novel, the city is not green. The wizard forces visitors to wear green-tinted spectacles locked onto their heads. That central deception was dropped to showcase Technicolor. The shimmer in those towers is light through paper. The animals in this production were treated better than its human cast. Number 13. 4 separate white horses were used for the color-changing carriage sequence. The ASPCA refused to allow paint or dye. Special effects head Arnold Gillespie settled on flavored Jell-O powder paste, lemon for yellow, cherry for red, grape for purple. The horses relentlessly tried to lick the gelatin off, requiring every take at full speed. Watch actor Frank Morgan as the cabbie. He visibly restrains the horse from nosing at itself. The carriage was originally built as a gift for President Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War, later acquired by MGM and used in nearly 200 productions. The horses had certified edible coatings. The human cast was being poisoned. The production's greatest loss was a scene no living person has ever seen. Number 12. Near the 1 hour mark, the witch tells her monkey Nico she has sent a little insect ahead to take the fight out of Dorothy's group. That line is the only trace of a fully filmed number called the Jitterbug. A pink and blue insect bites the group, forcing them to dance helplessly until they collapse, enabling the winged monkeys to attack. The number cost $80,000, approximately $1.7 million today, and took 5 weeks. Director Victor Fleming and producer Mervyn LeRoy argued to keep it. Executives cut it after the first preview. The film ran long, and they feared the dance craze would date the picture. Only composer Harold Arlen's personal home movies survived. All MGM footage is presumed lost. That witch line is a ghost in the finished film. Number 11. Over the Rainbow was removed from at least one preview screening. Studio head Louis B. Mayer called it too sad. Executive Eddie Mannix argued it slowed the pace. Associate producer Arthur Freed issued a direct ultimatum: the song stays or he goes. Mayer relented, reportedly saying, "Let the boys have the damn song, put it back in the picture, it can't hurt." The AFI ranked it the greatest movie song of all time. The NEA and RIAA voted it the #1 song of the 20th century. The scene Mayer tried to delete was directed not by credited director Victor Fleming, but by King Vidor, who received 0 credit for it. Vidor was not the only director erased. 5 people directed this film and almost none were acknowledged. Number 10. Victor Fleming is the sole credited director. He shot the Oz sequences but was pulled from production on February 12, 1939 to replace the fired George Cukor on Gone with the Wind. King Vidor, a 5-time Best Director nominee, directed the final 10 days through March 16th, including the tornado, Over the Rainbow, and the Kansas bookend scenes. Out of personal loyalty to his friend Fleming, Vidor chose not to claim credit until after Fleming's death in 1949. Cukor had spent 3 days as creative advisor but made the single most consequential decision, telling Garland to remove the blonde wig and theatrical makeup that first director Richard Thorpe had imposed. Thorpe was fired after 2 weeks. The scenes everyone quotes were directed by a man history ignored. Number 9. Pause the enchanted apple tree sequence at approximately the 40-minute mark. As the scarecrow tumbles to the ground, Dorothy is momentarily wearing plain black patent leather shoes, visible in the lower right corner for several seconds. The ruby slippers return in the very next cut. The sequined slippers were fragile and uncomfortable. Garland wore studio shoes in wider shots where feet weren't expected on camera. The chaotic multi-director production left editors splicing footage from different weeks and months. Dorothy's pigtails also visibly changed length during If I Only Had a Brain at roughly 35 minutes, alternating above and below shoulder between shots from different shooting periods, confirmed on IMDb and Snopes. Every such slip is a seam between different directors and different weeks. Number 8. Actor Burt Lahr's Cowardly Lion costume was constructed from genuine lion skin and fur, supplemented with Italian human hair for the mane. Estimates of its weight range from 60 pounds per Lahr's son Herbert to nearly 100 pounds with full prosthetics. The 150 arc lamps pushed stage temperatures past 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and the insulation of real fur soaked the suit in sweat daily. The facial prosthetic was glued directly to Lars' skin, preventing him from opening his mouth for solid food. He consumed all meals through a straw. One surviving costume sold at Bonham's in November 2014 for $3.1 million. Watch the fur in any lion scene. It shifts and settles under gravity in a way synthetic material does not. Number 7. Buddy Ebsen was the original Tin Man. He recorded all vocal tracks before aluminum powder in his silver makeup coated his lungs and blocked oxygen absorption. He woke at night screaming as his fingers curled backward from cramping, and spent 2 weeks in an oxygen tent at Good Samaritan Hospital. Jack Haley replaced him and reshot every scene. The group ensemble vocal tracks were never re-recorded. Ebsen's voice remains in the mix, identifiable by his Midwestern enunciation of the R in Wizard against Haley's Boston accent. He died of respiratory failure in 2003 at 95, outliving every other credited cast member. His daughter Kiki stated, "They said he had an allergic reaction, but it was a toxic reaction to aluminum powder poisoning." MGM held that story for decades. Number 6. On December 23, 1938, pyrotechnic flames triggered before actress Margaret Hamilton had fully descended through the Munchkin trapdoor. Her copper-based green makeup was highly flammable, intensifying the fire. She suffered second-degree burns on her face and third-degree burns on her right hand. The recovery was its own ordeal. Copper paint was toxic through open wounds, so crew members scrubbed her raw, burned flesh with rubbing alcohol to remove every trace. She was offset for 6 weeks, returning February 10, 1939. The costume department added green gloves to hide the exposed nerves in her hand. Before Munchkin Land, no gloves. After it, green gloves in every scene. That costume change is in the finished film, hiding a real injury. Hamilton refused further fire scenes. Number 5. After Hamilton refused further fireworks, stunt double Betty Danko was strapped to a rigged broomstick for the surrendered Dorothy skywriting sequence. Director Victor Fleming relocated the smoke pipe underneath the seat to billow Danko's cape. On the third take, the pipe exploded. Her hat and wig were blown to the top of the soundstage. She hung upside down as stagehands lowered her to the floor. Danko was paid $35 per day. She was hospitalized for 11 days with a burn 2 inches deep on her leg and left with permanent scarring. In testimony recorded by author Aljan Harmetz, she recalled, "While she lay waiting for the ambulance, the wardrobe woman arrived asking what she had done with the hat because it needed to be turned in." Number 4. The white particles drifting down onto Judy Garland, Ray Bolger, Jack Haley, and Bert Lahr in the Poppy Field rescue are chrysotile asbestos, confirmed by Snopes and classified as a Group 1 carcinogen by the World Health Organization. In 1939, it was Hollywood's standard fake snow, sold under names including White Magic and Snow Drift because it was fireproof under studio lights where cotton batting posed fire risks. Thick accumulation on costumes and exposed skin is visible throughout the sequence. Bolger's scarecrow costume was reportedly treated with asbestos for flameproofing. The ASPCA formally approved Jell-O for the horses. No health authority reviewed the asbestos for human performers. No masks, no warnings. Pause on any frame of the snow scene and the coating on the cast is immediately clear. Number 3. Producer Mervyn LeRoy originally conceived the Wicked Witch as a seductive, glamorous villainess, inspired by the evil queen in Disney's Snow White. He cast Oscar winner Gail Zondergaard and photographed her in a black sequined gown with glamour makeup. 2 wardrobe test photographs survive and are on DVD releases. When the creative team insisted on a terrifying hag, Zondergaard declined, fearing disfiguring makeup would destroy her career. She was replaced on October 10, 1938, 2 days before filming, by Margaret Hamilton. Hamilton's total screen time is approximately 12 minutes, yet MGM executives cut some of her most frightening sequences, fearing children would be traumatized. The green-skinned witch who frightened children for a century was the fallback option, cast at the last moment, then nearly killed by the role. Number 2. The flying monkey sequences blended 2 entirely different techniques. Close-up shots required live actors, lightweight men including some Munchkin performers and professional jockeys, suspended from the soundstage ceiling on piano wire with battery-powered wing motors in their costumes. Mass flying shots used 275 miniature rubber monkeys sculpted by Marcel Delgado, who also built the stop-motion models for King Kong in 1933. Each miniature required 4 wires, totaling approximately 2,200 piano wires strung from the tornado gantry. The wires snapped repeatedly and actors fell to the floor. The Screen Actors Guild sent a representative after performers hadn't received stunt wages. 2 more were injured after wages were corrected. Distant monkeys in the sky are rubber miniatures. Close-up monkeys grabbing Dorothy are real people on wire above a hard floor. Number 1. The Wizard of Oz cost $2,777,000, MGM's most expensive production at the time. It grossed approximately $3,017,000 on initial release. After distribution costs, MGM posted a net loss exceeding $1.1 million. It opened August 25th, 1939, days before World War II began, and was eclipsed by Gone with the Wind that December. It won only 2 Oscars and did not turn a profit until the 1949 re-release. CBS broadcast it on November 3rd, 1956, drawing a Nielsen rating of 33.9 with a 53% audience share. The 1959 airing reached 36.5 with 58%. Annual broadcast became a cultural ritual. The Library of Congress now calls it the most seen film in human history, a status achieved through the medium Hollywood spent decades trying to destroy. The Wizard of Oz burned its witch, poisoned its Tin Man, coated its cast in asbestos, nearly deleted its greatest song, and lost money doing all of it. The gloves hide burns. The snow is carcinogenic. The Kansas you think is black and white never was. Which hidden detail surprised you most, and what film should we open next?